Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Within the Cauldron. And tonight we are starting our segments on legends. The first legend we thought would be of interest would be no other than the grandfather of America Wicca, to explore the life and legacy of Raymond Buckland, who was born in 1934 and who passed away in 2017. He gave us all a good start to an introduction of Wicca. I will be talking to the curator and high priestess, Tony Guantondo, and caretaker of the museum, Stephen Intermill, who is the manager of Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic in Cleveland, Ohio. We will explore the life of Buckland, who was born in London, England. He grew up fascinated by the spiritualism, the folklore, the occult, long before witchcraft was even accepted. So, to further ado, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us on.
Well, you're welcome. We've been wanting to do legends for some time now, and it's kind of hard to get those who have known someone to come on the podcast to really talk about them, because it does get really emotional and everything. But legends has to go on. People needs to know about them. So I am very excited that you did accept our invitation. Now, the first question that we want to ask is, how did Raymond Buckland's correspondence with Gerald Gardner in the early 1960s that led to a formal introduction of Gardnerian Wicca in the United States? And Tony, can you answer that one?
Sure. Okay, so first off, Stephen, I don't know if you have this book, but if you really want to know everything.
Oh, from Jason Mackey. Yeah.
Jason Mackey just came out with High Priest. Everything, amazing book. He did a fantastic job. Everything you want to know about Raymond Buckland is right here. He did a wonderful job. So, Stephen, do you want to answer that question about Gardner in the the correspondence?
So is the question just like, how did Ray start corresponding with Gardner?
Mm-hmm.
He, there's addresses in the. I think he wrote to the publisher, and he writes a letter to Gardner, and he gets one back. Gardner and Ray correspond a little bit. It's very just quick and to the point. But eventually, Gardner puts Ray in touch with Monique Wilson. Her craft name was Olwyn. And she's the one that Ray gets really deep into the correspondence with. She's the one that invites Ray eventually to initiation. So
there's a letter in this book from Gerald to Ray. And it starts off with, Dear Mr. Buckland, I am so sorry to say I don't know of any covens anywhere in the U.S. And that's the correspondence that begins where Gerald and Monique, they invite him over to get initiated. So sorry, Stephen. Go ahead.
No, that's right. But the thing is is that your dog, Tony?
No,
it's mine.
I'm in that house.
No, okay. Yeah. I like dogs. Yeah, so they started correspondence, and Monique's kind of vetting Ray, make sure he's actually into it. And then he eventually makes his way across the pond where he goes through his official formal initiation. So think about it. Like back then you had to actually write a letter, not send some Facebook messages, right?
Yes. So it was a very, very long process. I think initiation ended up being in 1963 after corresponding for quite some time, several years. So, yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
So anyone that sits there and wonders why they haven't gotten their third degree in 2 months and hived off on their own already,
Oh yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
like that.
They want to jump, skip, and hop through all the hoops, but it's a whole process.
Yeah.
And like I get people who want the silver spoon really quick, and it's like,
Yep.
you got to go through it. Like, it's a whole thing. We have to do our studies. I know you can come in with knowledge, but like, if you're studying a whole new system, please just go through the process.
Absolutely. That is correct. Medium red, what is your question, hon?
How did Buckland's work help pagans come out of the broom closet during the social shifts of the 60s and 70s?
Well, I know for a while they were pretty secret after, coming back from the initiation from the Isle of Man and coming back and starting one of the first recognized covens on Long Island. I know they were secret for quite some time and actually tried to keep it secret until
they were under direct orders by the high priestess Monique Wilson, right? Olwen, saying, burn these letters. Don't, what we do is secret. And but then eventually
he didn't burn the letters, but he was instructed to.
But she was what we do is secret. This isn't something to be advertised. But then eventually the secret came out, and that's where Ray just kind of put on his big boy pants and started actually communicating with the world about witchcraft, with this idea that somebody had to show a decent public face to it, because of course, witchcraft has such a terrible reputation. But then you have this very formal Englishman that comes out always in a suit and always very respectfully dressed, right? And going out there and being a spokesperson for the craft in a way that people had never really seen before. I mean, Sybil Leek was walking around with her jackdaw, is that what it's called? And being kind of like one version of the craft, where Ray was a much more formal person. So
the dichotomy of the two. That's cool.
So I think Ray was always trying to have witches try to be the most he kind of wanted people to have kind of a mainstream look about them, just to not freak out the squares.
Now, with the Long Island Coven, wasn't that started like in 1966, 67, something like that?
Well, I mean, they started doing coven-based witchcraft in 64.
Initiation in 63, and then coming back in 64 for that.
So that's a long time. That's, I mean, I was just a baby. So
again, and they did try to keep it secret for a while, and they agreed to an interview. There was a newspaper article interview. Stephen, go ahead. Stephen has all the stories. He has all the stories. He tells this every single day to the tourists that come in.
Well, there was a newspaper article, I'm not recalling the name right now, where they outed the Bucklands. And, they were trying to do
even not only outed them, but with an address. There was an address.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I don't know if their street address was there, but Brentwood, Long Island was there. And people eventually or immediately were like, hey, that's Ray and Rosemary.
Yeah.
It's our neighbor. And Ray said that I haven't talked about this in the museum for a while, but one of the things that I was really fascinated by was when we first opened the museum, the current version, about 9 years ago. We had this massive outpouring of support. There was a line down the street. people from all over were there. And at the end of the night, I was like feeling like pretty good. So I said, Ray, did you have this reaction when you opened your place in Long Island, right? Just looking for an attaboy from the Witch King. Buck says, well, Stephen, many people enjoyed it shortly after someone set my car on fire.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so that's the kind of thing that he had to deal with. One thing he told me that I thought was particularly interesting was kids would walk by and sing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead." So he would take his hi-fi stereo and play it back at him through the speaker, through the windows. Which just Ray was a very funny man, so I could see that being funny. But they set his car on fire.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There were quite a people that were very intrigued and interested in what he did, but they never came to the front door. He said that there was always someone knocking at the back door that didn't want to be seen, and he would invite them in, and they would want to learn or talk about the craft. So
Peter Lavenda told me that he actually took the train out to Long Island once. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Peter Lavenda, but he's a writer on esoteric things, and he does UFO books with Tom DeLonge. So he said that he saw Ray on TV one day, and he was like, I have to go check this out. So he took the train out to Long Island, and he figures out where the house is, and he goes over there, and he's walking up the steps, or he's walking down the sidewalk, and he saw the hearse in the driveway, and just a couple of spooky things maybe around, and it wasn't Halloween season, and he got so unnerved he had a split. I mean, sure, Peter was a teenager at the time, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he does tell a story. He did tell me a story. I think we have it recorded someplace on YouTube, where there was a witch war in New York City. And it was a real bad one. And people were hexing each other left and right. It was a bad situation. So there was a brokering, right? All the tribes got together at the back of the magical child. And Peter said that he was there. And Ray and Rosemary Buckland were there. And he said Ray was cool, but Rosemary Buckland was definitely the witch queen, right? Just radiating. Which I thought that was pretty cool. Ray was always a peacemaker, is my understanding. And he never wanted squabbles.
And that's a big misnomer. People have this assumption that people in Wiccan traditions don't do curse work and hexes, but they just a lack of knowledge of the history. That there's been multiple founders in witchcraft traditions having full out wars for decades.
Yeah.
Still are. And still
I was just gonna say
it hasn't stopped. I'm very out in public as a witch, and I have people beefing with me, and I'm nobody. And it's like, okay, if whatever about it. My question is, get back on track here. Why did Buckland decide to move away from Gardnerian Wicca and found his own tradition, the Saxon witchcraft, in 1973?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah. And that I don't want to.
That's a loaded question. Yeah, how do I answer
Sometimes
that?
you want to do your own thing.
We outgrow traditions.
And then there's I think a lot of it had to do with the split between he and his wife Rosemary. And they had formed this coven together. And it wasn't right for one of them to be the one that had it. So Ray was leaving the New York City or Long Island area. He was going to New Hampshire, and splitting up with his wife, leaving his coven. Time to do something new.
New start. Yep.
And I think no matter though it's a loaded thing, I think that's the core part of it.
Yep.
It was time to do something fresh. And I think Ray was also getting a bit wary at the time about, because the thing about CX Wicca is it's essentially an open sourced form of witchcraft, right? And I think he was getting nervous about this idea of these cults of personalities popping up and these leaders, right? And if you have something that is designed to be leaderless for too long a period, or I think the high priest and priestess, they have to be shifted out from one of these covens every 2 years. So it's hard. It's hard to become the top of the pyramid in 2 years, and I think that I think there was a lot to do with that. Ray really did not like the idea of cults of personality and witchcraft.
Yep.
And he told me a few different stories about how he found disastrous results with that.
Right.
Still
That still is today too.
a problem.
With Nick and I, we have covens, and so we go through the personality bit. I did pagan events for 27 years, and had a big personality. People just want to attack me because I was the organizer, the leader. Because somebody has to step up. And it's just after so many years, you just I'm done. They can step up.
The drama people want to drag to your doorstep.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to add to that. Stephen had said earlier that he was always the peacemaker. He was a funny man, and was the peacemaker. And even to this day, through a lot of the Gardnerian lineages, we get a lot of static from that.
Yeah, it gets rough out there. Yeah.
And even in this book, great book, but the subject is tiptoed around so that people don't get upset. There's a lot of rumors. I hear a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
A lot of things that just weren't true, didn't happen, and a lot of the times these are coming from people that were never there, and that their high priestesses weren't there. These stories that have gotten passed down that never happened, and that's so I still on a monthly basis hear something. He did start CX Wicca, but I will say even up to his passing, he was still very hurt by everything that happened within the Gardnerian, that first Long Island coven. He was very hurt over that. And also starting CX Wicca, which has helped so many people. And there are still so many that practice the CX Wicca, the self-initiated practice. I now hear from a lot of the lineages that they're very upset about this, and he should have never done this, and that this is an initiatory practice only. So you can't make anybody happy. You can never make everybody happy.
That's
Everybody's upset about
very true.
And he really his love was for the goddess. He just wanted to live. He wanted to live peacefully, and and in doing so, he has taught and done so much for the community and communities. But it's funny to still hear some of the things that people are throwing around it, So,
I do want to. There was a story that I heard from a guest that came one day, and she came to the museum because she thought Ray would be there. I'm like, well, no, he passed a few months ago. And she was telling me about how she was at a pagan gathering with her coven, and Ray pulled her to the side and he said, I know nothing about your coven. I know nothing about the dynamics, but if you do anything, you have to get away from the leader of that, because he saw him strutting around, causing all sorts of, he just like could tell the vibe. So this woman split from the coven, and then when I'm leaving, she just saw just how dangerous this individual was, and she said that he saved her life. And I thought that was just really, really wonderful.
Prophetic.
Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah. In the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic in Cleveland, Ohio, his personal collection and historical artifacts are there today. Can you tell us what kind of artifacts are in the museum?
Well, the museum started in 1966, so it's been around for a long, long time.
Oh yeah. I noticed they moved around from like to New Hampshire too, where he lived at, and different places, maybe Virginia. But yeah, I know that it really moved around a lot. But he's been collecting everything in his basement for a long time too.
He did. He started off everything in the basement, and then it continued to grow, and then he opened up, a larger space, a museum. It did move around quite a bit. This was around when Big Blue, when the complete book was coming out, and he was doing a lot of lectures, seminars, tours, and he couldn't run the museum anymore. So he did pack it away for a while, and then it opened back up in New Orleans through Reverend Velvet Brave was down in New Orleans, and she ran it for a while. She became ill, and I'm trying to give you the nickel tour because there's a long history. At that time, I was so Ray is my high priest. I don't know that I've clarified that, but he was my high priest, and he knew I had a family reunion going on down in New Orleans, and he asked me to go visit with Reverend Velvet. And what we didn't know is that she had become ill, and she could no longer take care of the museum. So trying to speed this up because I'm sure Stephen's got a lot to talk about. So I ended up having to go down, pick up the museum, and bring it here. So I'm located in Columbus, Ohio. So I have the museum here, actually in this house, as we were cataloging it and going through the contents. And thankfully, Ray was with us, so we were able to correspond with him and get the stories and histories right. Nice. And so thankfully, and that was several year process. And then one day I got an email from Ray saying that Stephen Innermill wanted to, come down and see the museum. And I said, well, who is this guy? He says, I don't know. I think he owns the can I say it, Stephen?
Yeah, sure.
He owns the Christmas Story house.
Yeah.
I said,
I don't know where he got that from.
Well, why?
Pretty clear in my email to him that I was the curator of the museum there.
I don't know. I said, well, what is the owner of the Christmas Story house? Why is he interested in a witchcraft and seeing that? He's like, I don't know. So I'm calling him. I'm like, well, what do I do? He says, well, just email him back. I said, but who is he? I don't know. So Stephen and I have this volley of emails, And so he came down, and my friend at the time, he was like, well, did you want to go to dinner? I was like, yeah, we'll go to dinner. This guy's coming, I don't know who he is. And he'll only be there for like an hour or so. He's going to get bored. He's not going to know what he's looking at. So he's going to get bored. He won't be there that long. And like 8 hours later, I'm like, he's still here. Like, so yeah. So, and Stephen knew it was so nice to be able to talk to someone who knew his stuff. So,
in that trip, I dragged my friend Josh down with me. He's the CEO of a Christmas Story house. And we were driving home, and it was really scary. We witnessed a motorcycle accident.
Oh.
And we pulled over, checked the scene. I remember doing my best to keep the guy from standing up because he's laying there and he's trying to get up. And I'm like, no, man, wait till the ambulance gets here. And we get back in the car and we're driving, and it's quiet for about 10 minutes. And Josh says something along the lines of, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this collection's cursed. It's like, but that guy, he didn't go look at that. We did. That's something else. It's like, it's the universe saying that, life is short. Do what you want to do.
Right. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know I haven't been there yet.
Like, in a couple months.
Yeah, I was supposed to go there last year, but the IPMA awards was postponed and everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to go, but it's on my list because I'd be really interested. Now
You're going to be back next year, though. You're coming back. I was talking to Melissa. You're all doing it this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what time. There's so many dates that gets thrown at me that I need a secretary. So
she needs an assistant.
Yeah, I need assistants.
So it just dawned on me that we didn't really answer your question.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, the museum. Yes, I went into the history of the museum.
It's all good.
So artifacts in the museum, correct? Thankfully, Ray had quite a bit. We've been able to try to fill in some blanks from the history of where he was collecting artifacts and to what is going on now. But some of the original artifacts were from Sybil Leek. So we have Sybil's crystal ball and her athame.
Wow.
Scott Cunningham, some items from Scott Cunningham, because Ray and Scott were close, dear friends. Selena Fox, Crowley. So there are some Crowley items there. His trident wand is on display. Amazing. They're beautiful, beautiful. And Stephen has done such a nice job with the display there. It's gorgeous. Oh gosh. Starhawk, Lori Cabot, who there's so many. Stephen, go ahead.
A lot of the great contemporary writers. Amy Blackthorne has donated this really cool wand. I always call it the Velvet Underground wand because it's like this leather. It's just really beautiful. Dear Najah Lightfoot, her beautiful staff is on display. Let's see, one of Oberon Zell's staffs, Pathfinder, is there, and that's very dramatic. It's over our Elders of the Craft display, and it's usually the first thing that people notice when they walk in to the museum because it's so dramatic. And then we have just a lot of great stuff. We have an altar that belonged to Leo Martello, and if you don't know Leo, you should.
Yeah.
He was
right?
He was
Lon,
Yeah.
the cat
on my
Angelo.
old cat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we had
somebody-
Lori Bruno on last year.
oh wow,
Yeah.
talking about Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Lori's
So Lon Milo Duquette, his panticle, his original panticle. So Laura Tempest Zacriff donated an illustration to us that is so cool.
beautiful.
People are always like obsessed with that. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
it's kind of a minor who's who of the modern witchcraft community.
Mhm.
Like,
Evo,
you know,
Evo Dominguez.
Evo Dominguez,
Evo.
Warren.
So
But
it kind of sounds like it's a kind of like an education as well.
Oh, definitely.
well, that's the whole purpose, honestly. Talk about
Yeah.
who we are and what we aren't, and talk
I-
about the major writers.
Yeah, I often, and I because I am down in Columbus and I get up there when I can. I've often said that, I kind of, sometimes I'm not jealous, but a lot of times I'm jealous of Steven's job in getting to talk with all the visitors, but sometimes he has some stories, but
A lot of times I'll call her if we got a live one there.
yeah,
I'll be like, Tony, you gotta handle this one.
he'll say,
I know.
busy.
Looking at Nico's my cousin. I know he's like, right now he's just like, I want to be there. I want to touch
Oh, yeah.
everything. I want to see
Oh,
it.
I want to. You have no idea how much I want to go rifle through all the things.
I bet.
Incredible.
I know his eyes are this big.
So I'm a
We
huge
need
history
a
nerd,
cousin trip. That's what we need. We need a
especially
cousin trip.
when it comes to like historical witchcraft, like modern witchcraft history. And that's a thing that I actively try to educate people on as well, because there's so many people that don't know how we got where we're at. And like partially out of preservation, also I'm just a nerd. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. A majority of the people that come, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, but a lot are not practitioners. And so it is very much a teaching museum.
the fascination.
And
Yeah.
we're trying to teach people, like Stephen said, the myths and misconceptions of what we do and what we don't do. And that's so important, especially right
Absolutely.
now.
Right.
In this
Yeah.
climate.
Yeah.
So most come in a little scared, but leave just wow. Like they had no idea.
I love that. Yeah.
But there's a lot of practitioners that do come, and this is almost, and I hate to use this term, it's almost a pilgrimage for them.
Yeah.
To come in and see, Janet Farrar, something. These are tools that these people have used in their practice, and there's still energy from them, like Janet Farrar's chalice cup, or Christopher Penzak's, first, Athame that he was initiated with by Laurie Cabot. Like there's so many amazing stories. Each item has a story.
Yeah.
So that's what that's why I wish I was there a little bit more often, and Stephen gets to tell these amazing stories. But again, sometimes.
Well, come on up anytime, Tony. Always need a good tour guide.
Some new displays. So yeah, right now I have a few things I'm working on displays for Stephen. So make some more room. Make room. I'm sorry. But it's
I'm trying.
Christy, what's that?
I'm trying.
So Phyllis Curat has donated a rose libation bowl from her New York coven. Miss Aida, I don't know if you're familiar with Miss Aida.
Yes.
She has donated some candles. There was a hexing and cursing class that I attended, and it It was
Oh
amazing.
yeah, he's a wonderful person. Yeah.
Yes. So she's donated some of her candles that she used in her display. Christina Oakley Harrington, who is a Gardnerian out in London, who owns Treadwell's bookstore, she donated this. Yeah, her. So I've got 3 different displays that are getting ready to go in, among lots of others, Stephen. Some fun stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. But you have to come out. I don't know where everyone is. Where is everyone?
I'm in Iowa, so I'm in the Midwest. I'm probably
Okay.
closest to you than either one of those two. What Nico is in Nebraska, so he's
Yeah,
probably
I'm
staying.
about 5 hours past. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the furthest. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. So yeah, I'm too far. But that won't stop me though.
I was just near you. I went to the Tucson Gem Show for a gift shop.
Mhm.
So
In February, yeah, beginning of end of January, beginning of February, yeah.
Yep.
I love that show. Absolutely. I didn't get a chance to go to it this year. I was really bummed with work and everything, but it was great.
yeah, it's a good time.
So I think next up is Medium Red.
So what, and you might have even kind of touched on this, but maybe there's a true word here, but what was Buckland's original version his vision when he founded the first museum of witchcraft and magic in the US in 1966?
Well, I always, if we don't really have time to go into the history of the museum, I always just like to point at a picture of Ray and a picture of Gerald Gardner. I say, here's Ray, here's Gerald. Gerald wrote about witchcraft. Ray writes about witchcraft. Gerald Gardner has a witchcraft museum. Ray has a witchcraft museum. Gerald Gardner founds traditions of witchcraft. Ray founds traditions of witchcraft. So, I feel like Ray Gardner was the guy. And, I think he was just like, obviously, I'm going to have a witch museum too. So,
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
What do you think, Tony? Is that a little dismissive?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I think he really idolized, of course, Gardner, but I also think that he really did want to try to teach people about, what it is, what the craft is.
Well, he and his wife, Rosemary Rowan, they studied at the Museum of Witchcraft, which I just saw, Tony, it's $1,300 for 5 days for like a group of 6 people to stay at the Witch's Mill.
Oh,
Yeah. So we might have to do a company vacation there.
You might have
That
to
would
do
be
that.
cool.
Yeah. So they train there. They train at Gerald Gardner's Witchcraft Museum. And
Wow.
they got so much out of it that obviously they need to keep the tradition up and do it in the United States.
Thank you. Very cool.
Yes, very cool. And speaking of the Big Blue Book, I think Nick has a question on that one.
Yeah. The Big Blue Book, Buckland's Book of Complete.
Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft
Book
Magic.
of Witchcraft. Yeah. It's been considered one of the most foundational books of witchcraft for practitioners. How did he take on such a task? And I mean, it's deeply loved and has been a go-to for decades.
Yes, decades.
Well, he did a correspondence course for CX Wicca, and he pretty much honed through that over the years of having this correspondence course. And for the people that don't know what a correspondence course, think about it, it's pre-internet. You would get a form from Ray talking about witchcraft. At the very end of this form, you'd have a questionnaire, and you'd sit there and answer questions. You'd mail it back. he would grade it, send it back at you with the next month's course.
Mm-mm.
And could you imagine the practice?
Yeah, the
I know
homework
he was
and the
inspired by
practicums.
Gavin Frost and Yvonne Frost. I know he was inspired by them in doing this, but just one person, gets to be a bit much. So Big Blue, he takes all this stuff, condense it. He takes out the specific CX Wicca parts of it, and we've got the complete book of witchcraft.
Mm-mm.
So
It was one of the first kind of non-tradition books, like a universal, which was
yeah. I mean, it's an early one.
Mhm.
It's mastering witchcraft.
Yep.
I always consider. I think that's really the first, the accurate ones at least, and then it all just kind of goes from there. But Ray's was the one that, some people tell me it's just too dry for me. I'm like, well, some people need that.
Mm.
Well, he did so many books that it's still around today that everybody, like priest and priestesses, read this book.
Yeah. I still use his candle books.
Yeah.
Oh,
His
yeah.
Army,
that-
signs, symbols, and omens.
Those would have come out when I was the first one when I was born, and the second one I was 4, and I got my hands on those.
When you were 4, I
Yeah.
hope your parents were supervising.
Well, they came out when I was that young. I didn't start practicing until I was about 13.
Okay.
Yeah, some of my favorite books was the book of Spirit Communication.
Yeah.
was a big help. His fortune telling books,
Yeah.
I think he did one on gypsy magic, which I was really just infatuated with. The list goes on and on. He did write a lot of books out there. And I was telling Medium Red that the communication of spirits would be a good one for her to get because
I just did.
because she's a medium too as well, and she's into the paranormal. So that'd be a really good for her to check out.
I went on Amazon just before we were interviewing you, and I bought that one and the Big Blue Book.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on, Izzy. Go on.
With the Wiccan read, how did he feel about that? Because you get so many people that says, "Oh, they don't really believe in it," and some who says they do.
There's so many miscommunications about it
Yeah.
that haunt us today.
Sure.
Well, I just know from talking to Ray's widow, Ray was really into the idea of, harming none.
Right.
And she said that she wished he paid more attention to that and harming none with himself and stay away from the onion rings, which I thought was super
She does
cute.
say that.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah. If
I agree.
we have to be accountable to ourselves and what we put ourselves through as well. You have to treat yourself with kindness.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first.
Yes, very much so.
But Ray's opinion on the Wiccan read, Ray wasn't going around hexing people.
No, quite the opposite.
Oh.
So
yeah. Well, I know I talked to him through I think it was through email back in probably 2015.
Cool.
To ask to come to Pagan Pride because I was doing Pagan Pride. And he was going to go to an event in August. I forgot which event it was. But we had a really deep conversation, in a way is like, oh, wow, you really correspond with others.
Yeah.
And I thought that was that was great because, I'm nobody compared to other people, but he really treated me like I was somebody. He took time out to not just email me once, but I think it was like 3 times we emailed each other, maybe 4 or 5. I mean, it was great. I feel like he was kind of like a teacher in a way. Was he like that with everybody? Because I'm assuming he was.
He was. He was
Yeah.
extremely approachable.
Very generous with his time.
Yeah, he was. He really
Like
was.
one time I wrote up a press release and I sent it to Ray and I said, "You're the writer. Will you kind of take a look at this?" And he writes me back and he goes, "Well, Stephen, I'm very busy right now, but perhaps tomorrow I might have some revisions for you." And then about 15 minutes later, there's a complete rewrite of the press release, but he also included notes saying things like, "Why would you put this up front? This needs to be buried. This is what needs to be the first sentence right here." So not only was he doing my homework for me, he was
editing.
also explaining to me how to write a press release. And this is a father of American witchcraft, taking time out of his day to say, "All right, no, this is how we do it."
I wanted to, Christy, I wanted to tell you, July and August. Now, what year was that you wrote?
It was like 2015.
So
Yeah.
July and August for a good 10 years was spent in Lilydale. So
That's it. Yeah.
The spiritualist community, he spent a lot of time there teaching and doing mediumship. And, that was, sorry, there's my cat. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
That's okay. I have a dog barking.
Yeah,
I got kids, so
she hears me talking and she wants attention. So that's when, and that's what he was doing in the summers, is teaching mediumship, doing seances, and anything that had to do with the spiritualism community he was doing in the summers.
yeah. He even asked if there's a way he can come like later part of the spring, if I was having an event. And I'm like, well, I do have an event, but Pagan Pride was my guest event that I always paid for guests. So, I mean, I was just happy that I talked to him, even though it was through email. I was kind of like, "Oh, starstruck." So yeah, it was great. I like how he treated everybody like the same, even though he didn't know you. He just, he was so nice and everything. He reminds me a lot, because you say he was at peace a lot, a peacemaker. Raymond Buckland was a Pagan Pride when we had a protester. And he was very at peace with it. I mean, he went up and, stood next to him, talked to him, and make sure everybody was okay, not to trash him or anything. So Buckland kind of reminds me of Gramassi in a way, in that sort of sense. So that's great. Okay. But I think we do have one more question for you before we let you guys plug yourself in.
How should a practitioner handle working with forces that they do not fully understand?
Tony.
Those are the days where I don't feel jealous of Stephen when he's at the museum, because it's almost always, "Hey, Tony, you busy?" I'm like, "No, Stephen, what's going on? Here, hold on. Somebody wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "Oh God, what is it? Is it a haunting? Is it a demon?" One time it was a leprechaun,
Yep.
That one was wild.
100%.
Oh yeah, the evil leprechaun in the woman's kitchen that was
the evil leprechaun.
Okay.
It only stayed in the kitchen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I get stuff like that all the time. I I operate a lot on TikTok and stream publicly as like a witch for people to ask questions, hang out with other practitioners, and the questions people ask. Oh my god, some like crazy, and then like people genuinely needing help, and I
Yeah.
do what I can, or I have a collection of friends in multiple traditions, and it's like if it's not something that's in my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
Pass it on.
you got a Voodoo problem, you going over here. I don't
Yeah.
do Voodoo.
Yeah. Let's sort everybody out in categories here.
Yeah,
Right.
If I
Right.
can solve it or help you, sure. Otherwise, I'm outsourcing.
Yeah.
That's that's a hard question. I would hope that people don't do that, but we have
Yeah.
proof sitting in a box at the museum when you come see it that there are times when people are messing with things that they should not, or they just don't know how to control it, or
Yep.
it's very much a teaching tool for people who
Yes.
conjure, who should not
Mhm.
be messing with these things.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I'm very firm on the protocol, on like how I personally teach people. And it's like if you don't, we're not talking to spirits, we're not summoning things unless you know how to protect yourself. How do
Absolutely.
you get rid of the thing? And you're gonna research everything about this so you know what you're interacting with.
Absolutely.
Smart.
Yeah.
And like because trickster spirits even like make sure you're trying to communicate with a thing that's coming through. That's what you're trying to get hold of.
Yeah. Very
It
true.
would solve so many problems if like people would look at it logically and be like, okay, if I don't know how to close a door, should I
Right.
open this door?
Right.
No. I tell just protect yourself. Keep yourself protected.
Protection's paramount.
Mhm.
Protection,
Yeah.
spiritual cleansing.
So
Your spiritual
many
hygiene.
times Stephen has got to listen to my ABCs of protection
Mhm.
for a majority of these people, and who have no idea what they're doing. It can be scary out there for
Mhm.
people.
Oh yeah,
Some
for
of the
people.
stories. We're gonna have to write a book about that.
Yeah.
That
That would be great. I would love to read that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole niche that I like the perils, or like through like lessons and stories of like people's encounters with things and like how they're dealt with. That'd be super cool.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would read that for sure. Amazon.
So I was telling you, Tony and Stephen, I'm going to have you to plug yourself in on whatever you want to plug yourself in. I'm sure you just more than just Tony and Stephen. So who wants to go first?
Well, come see us at the Buckland Museum anytime. We have a new thing. So everybody that's like, I've been there, saw it. We always have new stuff. Pretty much every week, we're squeezing in another square footage of display space. But the 230 mural project, which is the 230th anniversary of the city of Cleveland.
Wow.
One of my friends is doing murals. He wants to do 230 of them. I'm hoping that he gets to 23. But we have a new one in Cleveland. Margaret Hamilton was born in the Cleveland area, and you may know her as the Wicked Witch of the West.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say that I am enjoying this whole makeover that she's had over the last few years, where I too would be very angry if somebody dropped a house on my sister,
Mm-hmm.
stole her shoes. So, like, 'cause some people are like, well, witches aren't wicked like she is, but now we understand where that comes from. So
I mean,
I'm very excited about this
they're
mural that we
definitely
have.
some.
And let's see. So the Buckland Museum has sponsored a night at a local bar on Saturday night, experimental music. It's an experimental music evening. So if you like weird music, electronic music, abstract music, avant-garde, come see us Saturday at the No Class, which is like Cleveland's best punk bar.
Oh, cool.
And other than that, nothing else to plug. What about you, Tony?
Well, there's the Luciana Lupe Vasconcelos exhibit that's going on until when was it?
Beltane.
Yeah, okay, Beltane.
At least Beltane.
Amazing Brazilian artist, occult artist. I think you can get on our Facebook page and see some of our work. It is beautiful. It's all for sale.
You guys are hearing this first. I didn't get a chance to do it today, but if anybody in the area wants to see Christopher Penzak do a lecture, it will be at the Buckland Museum on the 18th. He's going to do a thing on plant magic, plant spirits. That's what we agreed on that, right?
Cool.
And then
April, right? April.
And
18th.
April, and
Okay.
don't book any business that weekend, Tony, because you gotta be up here the
I
whole
got it
weekend.
worked off.
So
Christopher is a wonderful teacher as well.
yeah,
I had the privilege of met him a few times, and I just
really
we just
one of the best.
Mhm.
So
Come
we
on
got
out.
that.
Come on out.
Yeah.
well, you never know where I might drop at. I got so many people that's like, come here, come there, and it's like, if I win the lottery, I think I'd be gone all the time.
Yeah.
I know I would be.
Yes, I would. We would
Oh,
just go together. We just, hey, let's go.
That's right.
We got husbands, but they can hang out and do
That's
whatever.
right. That's right.
can have a
We
game
keep
night.
each other company while we go out and explore.
We've got a couch for the husbands to sit on.
Sit on. Perfect.
Yes.
Check the sports scores on Sundays, right?
That's right.
Mhm. Let them up with a couple books. Bring the video game tablet. They'll be
That's
good.
right.
Well, if there's any music stores around with guitars, my husband would be there.
Oh,
Playing
well.
guitar or
Then
piano.
we'll be with them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him would
You've
be
got
there.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is right there too. So.
Yeah.
That's
There
a
you
bucket
go.
list item for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
That'd be
husband's in the
perfect.
music business, and so that's why we should, why I said, he would love to hang out with Chris and go to a record store or anything music related because that's his business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Well, Tony, Stephen, thank you so much
thank you,
for
guys.
coming on. I feel like I know Raymond Buckland for years now. He's a legend.
And he
To
was one of those kinds of writers
Yeah.
where you got to know him a bit through his writing.
Mm-hmm.
And for everybody in Ohio, please stop by in Cleveland and go to the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft. That's 2155 Broadview Road. It's only like $8 a ticket, right?
Online, if you buy at the door, it's more than that.
Okay. And it's about how long? About 30, 45 minutes tour, an hour?
It depends. Some people are there 10 minutes. They're like, that was great. Split. Other people are there for 2 hours. Yeah.
I'll be that person.
8 hours.
Yeah, it depends on
Like
how
20?
much you want to nerd out. Mm-hmm.
The longest anyone had ever been there was they were waiting for me at noon and they left when we closed at 6.
Wow.
Okay.
That is the longest period of time that one person that took a tour.
Did you serve lunch?
I was waiting for them to leave, that's for sure. Yeah. Told the same jokes about 5 times with you around. That's uncomfortable. But that was cool though.
Well, thank you so much. And hang out for just a few minutes after the show. Once again, I want to tell you thank you so much for coming on. Please subscribe to Within the Cauldron. Like, share, and stay blessed, everybody. Have a great evening. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Blessings. Much love, guys.